What's going on, gang? Chavio here, and I have all the information on the latest patch from Big Time. This is going to be the very first one, and I got to say, we were super surprised to see it come out so early. Now, we've seen some changes happening with NFT drop rates and all kinds of things like that as the last 2 weeks have progressed. But now we've entered into a kind of slower drop rate. I think a lot of us were seeing a little bit less NFTs than we had. At least that was my experience and some of the people that I've been running with. And then the update came out, and wow, it has been like a game changer. Super, super excited. So let's go over some of the changes, what they mean, and how it's going to affect the gameplay. AI that are significantly higher level than the player will now be less polite about waiting their turn to attack. Meaning if you go into a dungeon you don't belong into, and I think a lot of us had the experience of being like level 25 or maybe level 30 and going into like a level 52 dungeon because that's where we were all getting the good gear from. So now when you go into them, they target you because they know you are a lot lower than they are, so they'll go right for you. It also says that the AI that are significantly higher than the player level will now trigger a stronger hit reaction. So it seems like they're just going to be gunning for you, and they're going to be having like a high attack rate on that particular player. So we went in, we experienced this. It dramatically changes the style of the gameplay. So it's really, really exciting to see. And I think that's one of the biggest changes, and it's very, very welcome. It upped the difficulty to the game. So now when you're playing the game, it's more challenging. Before we were kind of in farm mode, and now we're more in like, all right, here it is, combat situation. So the game feels much more immersive. It feels great. Really, it's really, really good. Here we have the mobs getting a little bit of a buff, which is great. So we see the mobs scaling their accuracy with levels, increased defensive stats, and then at levels 15, 25, and 35, the mob damage curve increases, letting those mobs do more damage. So you can see they're definitely scaling up the difficulty, and I think this is right in line with what they've always said to us, which was fun first dungeons. It's not fun to play an easy dungeon. You want really challenging gameplay, and I think that's exactly what they're trying to give to us. Now, the next line is super important. It says AI that are significantly lower than the player will not drop as many goodies, is the word they use here. And I'm not sure what that means. Up above, they use the term non-NFT specifically. So this one here, I'm tempted to think that they're saying if you're a lot higher level than the board you're in, it's not going to drop as many goodies. I don't know what that means, so hopefully we can get some resolution on that one soon. But as of now, I would say be careful if you're a lot higher level than the dungeon you're in. If you're noticing your NFT drop rate super low, you may want to get out of there. So here in parentheses, you'll see another really big point. This is also true for mobs that are devolved at the time. Now, if you don't know what devolve is, it's a spell that the Chronomaster has that he can go ahead and reduce the level. So say you're fighting a level 52 mob and you use devolve, it would scale him down to like, 25, and he'd be much easier to kill. So now what they've done is when you kill that level 25 that's under the devolve spell, you'll get the loot from a level 25, not a level 52, if that makes sense. Now, you also see that devolve no longer stacks. So apparently devolve was something that people were being able to utilize, kind of like exploit, almost like cheese out really good gear at a really low level. And I think they're trying to skip that and help us get back into track with the grind. The grind is going to be really important in this game, so they have to make sure that we're on track with the grind and that we can't take these shortcuts that kind of get us supercharged too quickly and we run out of content a little bit too fast. Another thing we see here, speed potion adjustments have been reduced. So you see they slowed us down there, and you also see that the ninja leap cost has been increased and will now scale with level. So you see that we've also now had them trying to kind of slow us down. So I think the idea is slow down, enjoy your time in the dungeon, don't speed through to get to the loot droppers. And that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference in what they want us to do. And the big thing is that they're also going to start rewarding us more for being in the boards longer and playing the game the way we wanted to. And that is a huge thing, rewarding players for playing the game the way they're supposed to play it. And it's awesome to see that this first patch is super in line with that. So in line with making it so people play the game the way it was intended to do, here you go. Add an NFT role chance when completing quest objectives. So now when you're picking flowers or killing fauna, which was previously completely useless, now you know you have an NFT role. So now not only do you get the mission completion role, but you now get the objective completion role, which is really kind of cool because now you have, 3 more roles essentially, or 2 more roles per level, and that's a big deal. And we've all known that the portals have been busted for quite a while, but it's really great to see that they've now corrected the portals. They've even done a new animation for it, which is pretty cool. It says portals now attempt to position themselves in front of players, so they're easier for people to see. And if a summoner is not available to teleport, to when a summon player takes the portal, it'll just go to the summoner's last location. So what used to happen before is like you'd do a portal for your friend and then you'd like jump into a dungeon and then that portal wouldn't work anymore and your friend would be stuck. So now when you jump into the dungeon, the portal will still work just in your last location. So that's really, really convenient, and we should not waste so many summon potions now. Now, another monster change to the way the game works is the pocket watches. Now, previously we were thinking you'd be able to like have a pocket watch, level it up and give it to your friend so they could play with a high level pocket watch, but that has been completely removed from the game now. And you can see here it says pocket watches that have been equipped or had points spent on them can no longer be dropped or sold. So if you equip any pocket watches, you can no longer give it to your friend, and you can't sell it at the shops anymore. So if you're holding a pocket watch for your buddy, don't put it on or anything like that. Just keep it in your pocket, drop it on the ground when you finally see them, because if you put that on or you level it up at all, it's no longer transferable between accounts. That is a huge change, and I think it's a good one because, again, I think it keeps the game in line with people aren't going to be like selling each other with back alley deal pocket watches. Now it'll be focused more on the actual marketplace where we should be. Also in line with not having players speed farm anymore, you see that boss battles are now only active after all objectives have been completed. So even if you can get into the boss room before the missions are done, the other objectives, there'll be nothing in there. So now it gives us even more reason to kind of just slow down, take our time, and enjoy the boards. Again, I think this is great because the devs are saying, look, the NFT rewards are there, but just have fun, slow down, enjoy the dungeon. And I think, again, fun first is the way to go. So guys, you're probably wondering now, what was the experience of playing before the patch and after the patch? So we played straight through it. We played for like 5 or 6 hours up to the patch, then we updated, and then we played about 5 or 6 more. The game was just so much more immersive, so much more fun to play, and so much more rewarding to play the game with the way it was meant to be played. So the experience that we were having was we were now always completing all objectives. We were no longer focused on like what's in the boss room, let's get there early. So it kept us on track, and it kept us playing the game in the grind track that you want to be in. The other thing that was huge was when we got into the boss rooms, it was so much more difficult that, you know, we had to all work together and really, really, you know, strategize how we were going to take down these bosses, because the game is no longer easy and you can't just drag low level players through with you. You have to have like a good team with great synergy. And I thought that was really, really made the game a lot more fun to play with everybody. The other thing that happened was there were a lot more of our favorite tank bugs and mega clockies in the boss rooms. We were printing NFTs last night. I haven't seen the drop rate this high since we first started playing the game. If you haven't been playing in a couple of days because you've been a little frustrated, highly suggest get on there, get playing, get those NFTs, and max out those gains. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's update. I'll see you out there. Be well, stay excellent. Peace. I'm out of here.